The district was electric. Everyone was young and so good-looking that it was hard to see them. My eyes barely absorbed any of it as Madame pulled me along to Jammy, the local diner with the best eggs in the world. It didn't look like any diner I'd ever seen. The exterior was covered in velvet, and there seemed to be peonies growing all along the front, like ivy would grow on the face of an expensive university. As Madame dragged me up the steps to the diner, I saw a man in a black leather jumpsuit, wondering out loud how a large redhead woman's curvy shape might fit with his. She rolled her eyes. She didn't want to dance with him ever, and certainly not at Ayaria. Ayaria. I felt a wrench of anxiety in my stomach when I heard the name. The woman and man looked at Madame and then back at me. "Welcome back," they said in unison. Madame didn't say anything, so I thanked them and she walked me into the diner. "We aren't serving dinner yet," the hostess said, not looking up. Madame told her we were there for the breakfast eggs, and we sat down at the tall tables. She yelled out her coffee order, black with a square of butter, and encouraged me to do the same. I paused and asked no one for a coffee with 2 sugars, no milk. 2 minutes later, a busboy came over with the coffee on a tray, cups wobbling precariously. "So, what do you do?" Madame asked knowingly. When I said I made maps, she just nodded her head. Another busboy brought over our eggs. They looked awful. Piles and piles of runny scrambled yellow. I was going to call after the busboy to retrieve the eggs when Madame stuck her hand right in the middle of the plate. "Super génial," she said, hiding the small golden key in the palm of her hand. Before I could ask what it was for, Madame was already out of her seat and walking towards the back. We barreled past a wall of half-finished paintings, and just beyond, a group of low tables for children. I asked Madame why the children would be quarantined so far away from their parents. A man emerged from a narrow hallway. "Those tables are not for children. They are for adults who like to be close to the ground," he said. The man had dark green eyes that only opened halfway, and a tiny raised scar hid in the budding hair on his square-edged chin. "Gris, the mapmaker." "Mapmaker? Gris," Madame said. I took note that this was the only person she'd introduced me to so far. I was about to say my real name when Gris said he already knew all about me. A wide smile made an awkward appearance on the canvas of his tanned skin. He walked away, and Madame proceeded to go down the hallway towards a narrow door. At the door, I had to turn sideways just to fit. The key jumped out of Madame's hand and into the lock, turning itself over until the lock clicked. I looked at Madame, expecting to see my awe mirrored in her expression. She was covering her mouth in a yawn. "Eggs make me sleepy," she said, walking through the door. Inside, there was a sign that said, "The Secret Library." Shh. I asked Madame, "How can it be a secret when everyone knows where it is?" Madame smiled. "Gris is not everyone, and neither are we. This library isn't a secret. It holds every secret that has ever passed through the district." I wondered which book held Madame's. As if reading my mind, she said, "Mine aren't in here. I know how to keep a secret. It's the only way to get a key." "What are we looking for?" I asked her. "La même chose, comme toujours," she said. "Trésor." Next week, tune into Tales of the District to find out what treasure the Madame seeks and where in the extraordinary world of District Perrier their hunt will take them next.